Jamel Herring stops Carl Frampton in the sixth of their title fight. Let's talk about it. Good evening, fight fans. It was Jamel Herring stopping Carl the Jackal Frampton in the sixth round for the junior featherweight championship that was owned by Herring. Let me start out by saying that I got this fight wrong. I picked Carl Frampton to win this fight. If you listen to my video the last time Jamel Herring fought, I said that he was going to be in trouble against Carl Frampton unless he turned it up and got a lot more active. I said that the last fight he had, that Carl Frampton wasn't going to stand right in front of him and Carl Frampton was going to be more active himself and put pressure on him. That's the reason why I picked Frampton. Let me start with some pros and cons. Let me start with my man, the Jackal, first. The pros would be, I did like the way that he was kind of flipping the jab out there, but he was really using it more as a range finder because we all know that Carl Frampton has very short arms. So he was putting that jab out there to try to find his distance to get in. He did have good upper body movement most of the fight, ducking, slipping punches that Jamel Herring was throwing. Now, let me go to the cons. The cons would be, I wanted to see Frampton more active on the inside. I wanted to see him use that jab and get on the inside and do work, because that's the only way he was going to win this fight. Listen, he's 5'10". He's 5'5". Jamel Herring is 5'10". I thought that Carl Frampton would be more of a he would use more of the Mike Tyson style. What I mean is he would have his hands up high and he would dip, move in, throw short shots to the body and then short shots up top. That's really what I thought he would do the whole fight. I thought he would make Jamel Herring uncomfortable, and that's how he would win it, but that's not how it went. As for Jamel Herring, the pros would be, I love the fact that he's a very tall junior lightweight, and he used all 5'10" of that frame. He was using his jab. He was using his straight left. He was doing good body work. He was throwing a jab up top, and he was throwing a straight left to the body. He really was mixing up his punches to kind of throw Carl Frampton off. And he was actually a lot more active than I thought that he would be. And I think that that's the reason why he won the fight. He used his range, he used his height advantage, and he just put hard shots on Carl Frampton. The fight, to me, was a very good fight. There was a lot of action in it. No, it may not have been like toe-to-toe action, but both men were doing lots of movement and throwing enough punches to make the fight very interesting. I knew that I was going to be wrong about this fight in the first round when I saw Jamel Herring land that first straight left hand, because Carl Frampton was standing right in front of him. And then maybe seconds later, Frampton, instead of using angles, he kept going straight back. And Carl Frampton is a much, much better fighter than that. But I didn't understand why Frampton kept going straight back. It caught up to him in the fifth round when Jamel Herring threw a straight left and put Frampton down. Frampton gets up, recovered. He was a little bit hurt, but I didn't think that he was overly hurt where the fight would be over soon. Then we get to the sixth round. Frampton started to turn it up, kind of what I was hoping to see. Frampton was moving his head. Frampton was getting on the inside. He was throwing short shots, but he got a little careless, and Jamel Herring hitting with a hard uppercut. And I knew that I thought Frampton wouldn't get up, because if you remember, Frampton just froze for like a second, and he fell back and hit the ground. He gets up at the count of 8, and Jamel Herring did what he was supposed to do. He did not give Frampton any room to breathe. He kept hitting him with hard shots until they stopped the fight, and it was a great stoppage. So let's talk about what happens from here. First, let's talk about Jamel Herring. He called out Oscar Valdez. That's what I would love to see. I've always said this: if you're a champ and you're in the top 5, let's see you fight guys up there. I don't want you fighting somebody who's ranked 11th, 12th, 16th, 17th. I want to see you fighting top 10 guys. He called out Oscar Valdez. But what about Shakur Stevenson? I saw a quote on the feed I was watching the fight on that Shakur Stevenson said that he wouldn't mind fighting whoever won this fight, that he was pulling for Herring, but he really wanted Frampton to win business-wise. But Frampton didn't win, Herring did. So do we see Shakur Stevenson try to get in there with Jamel Herring, or do we see Oscar Valdez get in there with Herring and they do more of a unification? Let me know what you think. As far as my man, the Jackal, we already know what's happening. If you saw the interview, he said he was done. He's retiring. And I don't think that was emotion talking. I think Carl Frampton is really done. He said that if he told himself, if I lose this fight, I'm going to retire. He said he did lose to the better man and that he was going to retire. And Frampton didn't make any excuses. He said he had a great training camp. He came in this fight to win. He actually was favored to win. I picked him to win, but it didn't happen. And now he says he's going home to finish raising his kids and to spend that time with his family, and he's done. If this is really it for Carl Frampton, I think he had a great career. I'll leave it to you all to tell me where you think Carl Frampton will end as far as Hall of Fame or what his credentials would be. But what do you want to see next for Jamel Herring? First of all, did you enjoy the fight? And what do you want to see next for Jamel Herring? Do you want to see Oscar Valdez? Do you want to see Shakur Stevenson? Listen, junior lightweight, in my opinion, is one of the best divisions in boxing. And I think that he probably can't go wrong with whoever it is he chooses to fight. But give me your thoughts on it. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so we can talk boxing every time it rings. Other than that, fight fans, that's all I have. Holla at y'all later.